What's up? We're the Street Drum Corps, and this is IndieRockReviews.com.
Street Drum Corps started about 4 years ago in Los Angeles, California. We put together a all percussion show for theme parks and private parties, and from there I went out and did a bunch of touring for the Warped Tour, Out with the Used. We've made a couple records now. We're on our third album. It'll be our first for Interscope Records. Right now we're out here on Project Revolution with Linkin Park, Chris Cornell, The Bravery, Ashes Divide. We're opening up the main stage, and then we also accompany Linkin Park. Frank's from New York. Adam and I are brothers, and we're from New Jersey. Living in Los Angeles, living the dream. The new album will be out 2009. We'll probably finish it up, finish all the packaging and whatnot by January, February, hoping for it to come out in the spring, you know, hit the road in the spring and the summer of next year again. Yeah, we're all doing some more vocals. We've added a guitar player, bass player, keyboards to the band. Just, you know, developing the sound a bit more. Of course, we're the Street Drum Corps, so it's still going to have that heavy drum influence. You know, we're all drummers first. But yeah, we're just, you know, always trying new things, adding more instrumentation, and that's how the Street Drum Corps started. It was an experiment just even for us with new sounds, using garbage cans, fire extinguishers, barrels, anything we could really get our hands on. And now it's like, you know, we've all played in bands our whole lives since we were like 10, 13 years old. So now we're going back to even, you know, adding more of the band stuff to it as well.
I think all of us started out playing drums in marching band, pit orchestra, jazz band, concert band, choir, playing timpanis, like anything we could get our hands on while we were growing up in middle school and high school. And then, you know, in middle school and high school, we also played in our own bands, like garage bands and stuff. A lot of punk bands, rock bands, cover bands, anything we could, you know, get out there and bang some drums to. So we had a big background in playing drums while we were growing up, and now we get to do it out on the road.
And everyone, you know, my whole life has been telling me, oh, you and Adam should do something together. It's so fun when you guys play drums or when you guys are banging on things together. You got a great energy. So Adam and I started playing some camps. One place called Camp Joan Myers. It's a camp in Malibu for people with disabilities. We started doing that. From there, our friend saw us. Our friend Cool Tim, who's a teacher in Redondo Beach. We ended up going from, you know, playing their middle school for 1,000 people for a spirit assembly to then the high school. And then Frank had moved from New York, came into town, and we all just kind of hooked up. Frank was doing a show called Repercussion at Hershey Park and in New York, doing the trash can thing. So we just kind of put it all together. And, you know, some of our influences at that time were the street performers you'd see in New York. We felt, oh man, you know, if these guys can go out there and make a couple bucks playing buckets, you know, maybe we can do the same thing on a bigger scale, taking from the street performers, taking from Stomp, Blue Man Group. And then because we were drummers in other bands, you know, influenced by Jane's Addiction, the Chili Peppers, Motley Crue, Led Zeppelin, you know, on, being fans of the Cirque du Soleil, all their productions, we just kind of put that all together. And then, you know, we all come from a heavy rock, you know, rock and roll backgrounds too, you know, so that's kind of how it all came about, and that's what we're doing. As far as personal influences, some of mine, as far as drumming goes, would be John Bonham from Led Zeppelin, Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction, Gene Krupa, one of the big band era drummers, Earl Campbell, who was like one of the founding fathers of rock and roll drumming back in the day, played for Little Richard. And then as far as you know, now we're doing other things too. You know, for producers, I really like Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, his guitar playing, Jack White from the White Stripes. I'd love to be able to work with him. Big influence. And Rick Rubin, another producer. And then we have a hip-hop flavor to us too. You know, we like the guys out there like Timberland, Pharrell, and Jay-Z. We love what Gwen Stefani does. I mean, it's sort of on. I mean, and now I'm taking on some taking on a vocal, what would you say, like being a singer now for the band, writing songs and things. Yeah, there you go. You know, and one of my biggest influences since I was really little was Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction and Peter Murphy from Bauhaus and Love and Rockets. And to be out here on the road with Chris Cornell, is, you know, watching him every night, it's like going to school.
So those are on this new record that'll be coming out in 2009, I think you'll hear a little bit of mixture of, like Bobby said, Jane's Addiction, Adam and the Ants, Nine Inch Nails, Old Chili Peppers, just, you know, those are most of our influences, I think, while we were growing up. I know Frank listened to a lot of like rock and metal while he was growing up. Bobby was just in the bedroom next to me, so anything Bobby was listening to, I was listening to. I like Danny Carey from Tool, and you know Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction again. And so there's a lot of great musicians out nowadays, and it's, you know, just trying to pick them out, find them.
This is we've been actually touring for 4 years. We started and didn't even have a record, and were put right on tour, on the Warped Tour, into the Used Tour. So we were just out doing street drumming pieces that we created. There wasn't songs, there wasn't singing. And then we actually, Kevin Lyman, who owns the Warped Tour, gave us a record deal in his label that he had at the time called Warcon, and we went out and supported that record for a long time. We did Taste of Chaos. We toured with Modest Yahoo. We went overseas with a band called Aiden. So, and then we even went out on the MTV $2 Bill Tour with 30 Seconds to Mars. So we've done really big tours. We've done arena tours in U.S., Canada. We've done even fashion shows in Hawaii for Hurley Clothing. So we've definitely, but as far as us being a band now, because we used to be more of a side thing or an intro or a second stage band, this is our biggest thing we've done. We were just out with the Used before this tour, which was college arenas, which was amazing. But this is, you know, 20,000 seaters we're playing to every night, and it's been incredible. This is the first time we're bringing a production out. First time we have a guitar player. We have a crew. So it's been, and the response has been amazing. Then we get to go up with Linkin Park and bring it back to the way we started at a street drum corps. It's just the three of us with trash cans, buckets, barrels, kegs, grinders, and it just makes Linkin Park's show very, very theatrical. Then we even go out as marching. Last night we jammed for like 10 minutes, just the three of us. Linkin Park left the stage in front of like 16,000 people last night. We're just playing marching stuff, soloing, riffing off each other, which was really cool. Then their drummer gets wheeled out on a cocktail kit, and we do a thing with, so we inspired him to get off from his drum set and play his little cocktail kit up front. And they just really push us and motivate us every day. Like, they have 3 different set lists they do. So we had to learn 3 different set lists of material because we collaborate with them. So, but we had only one intro that we opened their show, and the guitar player's like, why don't you guys come up with 3 different intros? So we have different intros, and, you know, when we're up on stage, we try to come up with different parts and keep it fresh. And it's just been really, really incredible and an honor to be out here with such a big band like Linkin Park.
And all the other bands, all the crew, everybody that's on the road right now on this Project Revolution tour has been really supportive of the Street Drum Corps and very helpful people. So big thank you to them. But now being on a tour bus, being in a band together, playing every night together, and doing what we're both very passionate about is a very fun thing, and it's good to keep it in the family. So love you, brother.
Love you too, brother. Well said.